Claire, tell us a little bit about your summer so far. What have you been up to? Any fun vacation things that you've been doing?
Yeah, so this summer I've spent a lot of time at the lakes, spending time with family, really just kind of getting prepped for heading out to Arizona, in a couple of weeks here. I spent a little bit of time going up north to the North Shore, like Duluth, Minnesota, spent a lot of time up there. But like overall, just spending a lot of time, at the rink and getting ready for the season.
Awesome. Well, you mentioned, the season coming up. Again, we don't know much about you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Claire. Tell us a little bit about your hockey background. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been playing hockey my entire life. I started skating when I was like 2, 3 years old, basically. My dad played high school hockey, played a little bit of college hockey himself. So that kind of influenced, my getting into hockey myself. My sister also played hockey. She was a goalie her entire life. So that kind of is what introduced me to the sport. But yeah, I spent majority of my life playing for not the team I just graduated from. So I used to go to a different school in high school. About my junior year, I transferred to Mound, Wisconka, which was where I just graduated from this last spring. And I spent a little bit of time there. And yeah,
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about your hometown. We don't know much about it. What is there to
right.
do there? What do you like doing for fun?
Yeah, so my current place that I'm living right now for the last 2 years-ish, basically the most fun thing to do out here is go to the lake. Kind of everybody kind of goes on their boats out here and they spend all day, swimming and boating around Lake Minnetonka. It's kind of like the big thing to do out here. A lot of like hockey presence in this town for sure. It's definitely a lot of spirit out here. I'd say outdoor hockey is really fun as well. Other than that, yeah.
There you go. Growing up or even now, did you watch a certain NHL team or player? Did you model your game after anyone in particular?
Yeah, so kind of growing up, the last couple of years before he um, got moved to LA Kings, my favorite hockey player was actually Kevin Fiala. I've had kind of a bit of a little crush on him, I'll say. He was definitely one of my favorites, just his speed and his heart for the game, I'd say. So kind of like Minnesota Wild, now I'm kind of interested in LA Kings, so it's kind of just been all over the place, I would say.
How
hmm
do you think your past season went with West Tonka High?
Great. Yeah. I'd say we didn't quite make it to state, which is I think every Minnesota hockey player's like main goal. We kind of fell out the last, right before we got to that point. We lost to our actual team rival. Big game. But yeah, so this season I played a little bit of forward and defense, a little bit of both, kind of wherever the coach needed me, but it went really well. I think our team was very successful this winter and we had a lot more competition this year. And I think there's definitely a lot more flow in the team as well. It wasn't kind of like previous years, it was kind of like the first line was kind of like the star line, but this year there's a lot more of like the seniors, such as myself, kind of like took control in that leadership role, and we did really well.
You mentioned you played forward and defense this year. Did you have
Mhm.
like a preference or a favorite position of the two?
I mean, it's hard to say. I definitely love playing both forward and defense. I think I love them for separate reasons. For defense, I really love it because I feel like I can see more of the ice, but I feel like more of a playmaker, I'd say, at forward as well. So it kind of just depends.
Okay, that's fair. Um, let's transition to ASU. Obviously, ASU and Minnesota kind of far away from each other, but how did you choose ASU and how did you hear about the team?
Yeah, so I actually, before I even like really knew about the women's program at ASU, one of my family friends who's currently on the team, Sydney Paulson, I kind of grew up with her sister actually, and when I found out that she was going to the desert, I was like, ooh, like that something snapped in my brain. I was like, what's that about? So I kind of looked into that and kind of followed her career over there for a couple of years before kind of like taking an interest into myself. I kind of practiced with Sydney for the last couple of summers too. So I think that was definitely a big influence. But I think with ASU, all it took was for me to like actually go down there and like look at the school and be in the community. And I kind of really understood, what the hype was about and why it was so exciting to like go play hockey in the desert. And it was definitely a big change. So that had a big influence on me.
Okay, cool. I didn't know you knew Sydney.
Yeah.
Kind of, I'll ask you this then. Did you grow up like knowing Sydney? Like, did you talk to her at all about going to ASU? What was that relationship like?
Yeah, so I actually am closest with her youngest sister,
Mhm.
Quinn. I played hockey with her growing up since we were like little babies, basically. So kind of knew the families growing up. So I definitely played a lot with Sydney and was around her for the last, probably like 10 years almost, I'd say. She definitely helped introduce me to ASU. She definitely had an influence, I'll say, kind of helped me, check out the school, get connected a little bit with Lindsay and everything. And I'm very grateful for that relationship. I think she's definitely had a really great influence on me.
Well, you mentioned you visited ASU, I think. How was your visit down here, and what did you think of the team? What did you think of the coaches? And did you get to meet everyone?
Yeah, so I've been down there probably like 4 times within the last year and a half, which is a lot. Definitely traveled down there a lot. When I met with Lindsay and all the other coaches, I mean, they were so welcoming. They were so nice to me. I really felt like at home when I got to meet a bunch of their girls. I mean, they're all so kind and so welcoming. I mean, I loved every second of it. Kind of got to see what their, schedule and life was like being a member of the hockey team. And I think really seeing that kind of just made everything like happen for me. I knew I wanted to come to ASU as soon as I came and visited, honestly, and met those girls. That really like secured my decision, I'll say.
Do you have a committed major yet? And if so, do you have a dream job based off that major?
Yeah, not quite. I'll say I'm currently looking at business, but I'm actually really interested in like maybe minoring in like kinesiology, physical therapy, maybe chiropractor, kind of a few different things in healthcare maybe, but right now it's just business for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, that's I've known a bunch of people who have gone to that. And obviously ASU is known for that, so
Yeah.
coming to the right place for that. What are you looking forward to most about living in Arizona?
Well, I'll say I'm definitely looking forward to, I would say the heat. I'm a little nervous about the heat. It's a big difference from like Minnesota, but I think I'm definitely looking forward to just definitely exploring the state. I mean, I when I came out there, I like toured a little bit beyond just the school, kind of stayed out in like Scottsdale, and I really enjoyed like hiking. I thought hiking was really interesting, so I'm really like looking into getting into that. I think that'll definitely become a part of my life, being more outdoorsy out there. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, as it should. I mean,
Yeah.
this is like the premier place to go hiking, not in the summer, but every other season.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you looking forward to most about the upcoming season? Obviously, the team's going independent, but you personally, what are you looking forward to most?
I'm looking forward to it's like this new challenge. I think I'm really looking forward to playing at the higher level and getting to see different types of competition. I'll say I haven't really played like teams from down here, in the independent, obviously, and just people from those places, I'll say. So I'm really excited to like be able to travel a lot more. I think that'll be very exciting looking
Yeah,
into. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. My final question for you, Claire. What else should fans know about you, and what do you think you bring to this team?
Well, I'll say I'm very competitive. I love, being competitive, playing at a high rate. I'm really excited to, I'll say, just be a lot more aggressive. I'll say I'm a very aggressive hockey player. I love playing at a high rate, being very physical. I think that's honestly the most exciting thing about hockey is just getting to play fast and play hard. And I think I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also a big team player. I love being a part of a team, being a part of community. I'm a very outgoing person on the ice rather than like off the ice. I think hockey brings out a different side of me that's a lot more like outgoing and just overall just joyful. So I'm really excited for that.